Hey fellow enthusiasts of the Warhammer hobby, my name is Max, and I am a fervent devotee of all things comics and Warhammer. Today we will delve into the realm where these two passions collide in a symphony of explosive action and otherworldly intrigue. The incredible comic book series, Fire and Honor. In 2008, Boom Studios unleashed this 4-issue masterpiece, penned by the acclaimed Graham McNeil and illustrated by the masterful Tony Parker. Fire and Honor chronicles the tales of Cadia's elite 71st Regiment, the Hellhounds, as they confront the insidious alien technology of the Tau Empire. Prepare to immerse yourselves in the gritty trenches of the Warhammer 40,000 universe as we join Blazer Company on their perilous journey. Brace yourselves for epic battles, jaw-dropping art, and a narrative that will have you hooked. So grab your bolt guns and settle in, because we are about to embark on a voyage through the fiery crucible of Fire and Honor, where the Imperium is besieged on all sides and the fate of humanity hangs in the balance. We open on an expansive shot of the Eastern Fringe, the frontier of the Imperium. The worlds within this sector of space are almost blind to the light of the Astronomicon, a beacon of psychic navigation that emanates from the heart of the Imperium, and is overseen by the Emperor of Mankind. It projects across 70,000 light-years of the galaxy to allow the navigators of the Imperium to pierce the treacherous currents of the warp and chart a course through the uncharted depths of space. These worlds are at the furthest reach of the Emperor's armies, but never beyond his reach. The comic zooms in and pans across a desolate expanse of crimson rock, focusing on Baktar 3, a planet of arid fury. Here, amidst a sea of sand and shadow, stand the legions of the Imperial Guard, the Hammer of the Emperor. A testament to the unwavering loyalty, the Cadian 71st, the Hellhounds, stand resolute, a tide of green and khaki against the infernal backdrop. Their ranks showcase their rigorous discipline, holding firm and awaiting the fight of their lives. Two men emerge, Governor Montague and Colonel Anders. Montague, his countenance etched with disapproval, casts a critical eye upon the assembled guard forces and expresses his concern to Anders. Colonel Anders, his gaze fixed, remaining unfazed, replies,
"As long as my men kill the enemy, that's all that matters to me."
The planetary governor, intent on his inspection, then halts before a Cadian soldier, his uniform bearing the grime of countless battles.
"Your uniform is dirty."
The soldier, his face a mask of weary defiance, retorts,
"Yeah, but my rifle is clean."
The Cadians of the 71st, hardened veterans of countless campaigns, clearly view Governor Montague with disdain. His ostentatious display of authority held little sway with these men who had faced down true horrors. A wave of sardonic humor sweeps through their ranks, and whispers of dandy and playful jabs at the absurdity of rank in the face of impending death. After the ribbing on the front lines, the scene changes to display Colonel Anders, Captain Hawkins, and Lieutenant Ray gathered around a holographic tactical table, its surface shimmering with detailed and weathered maps of Baktar 3. Colonel Anders, his voice a low, stern growl, emphasizes the need for Captain Hawkins to be in place and ready to fight at Objective 325, Paradise City, where he believes the hammer blow will fall hardest. To which Hawkins responds,
"Blazer Company is ready for whatever these Xenos throw at us."
Captain Hawkins and Lieutenant Ray look over the ranks of their defensive positions, inspecting their troops and preparing for a tour of the perimeter. They approach Guardsman Trantor, a figure of imposing stature, his face a grotesque tapestry of scars. The hulking soldier was engaged in the task of constructing grenade pits, tactical depressions designed to mitigate the devastating effects of enemy ordnance. The men exchange some banter over his grizzled look, with Trantor stating that the ladies love it. The exchange, a brief interlude of gallows humor, serves to ease the tension and foster camaraderie between the officers and their men. The exchange is interrupted by the intrusion of Commissar Florian and his retinue of leaders from a different detachment, He introduces Colonel Renko and Sergeant Voskol of the Vestrorian Firstborn 33rd Regiment. Captain Hawkins extends a hand in a gesture of respect, seeking to establish a cordial rapport with Colonel Renko. However, the colonel, his gaze steely and expression devoid of warmth, rebuffed the gesture.
I know you, Hawkins. I hear what you do on Teria 4.
Hawkins, a coiled spring of suppressed aggression, takes a fighting stance.
Then you know I do not suffer fools, sir.
He retorted. As the escalating tension threatens to boil over, Commissar Florian, his voice firm yet measured, interjects and emphasizes that the men of the 71st are proud to be fighting alongside the Vestrorians. Leaving the tense exchange behind, Captain Hawkins continues his patrol, inspecting his defensive units. As the crimson sun dips below the horizon, casting long, eerie shadows across the battlefield, he reaches a heavily fortified position, its centerpiece a monstrous las cannon. He queries his men, seeking an update on the Xenos presence.
Ain't nothing getting by us, Captain. The Tau decide to attack. You'll know about it before they do,
a grizzled soldier assures him. Out of sight of the Imperial defenses, hammerhead gunships, sleek and deadly, begin to descend from the darkening sky. On the ground, the silhouette of 3 towering XV-8 crisis battlesuits emerge from the swirling dust, as 2 Tau commanders converse over their readiness for battle. But one of the commanders expresses doubt.
All I question is the wisdom of trusting a Guela who's already turned against his own kind,
the commander exclaims. Now, brief side note, Guela is the term in the Tau lexicon, the language of the Tau, for the human species. The other Tau leader responds.
The Guela desires to be part of our great empire, Commander, and he has done much that will help deliver this world to us.
The Tau commander, now bound in his battlesuit, begins his assault.
Then let the will of the ethereals be done and the blood of the humans be spilled.
Meanwhile, the men of the 71st maintain a vigilant watch over the darkened battlefield. Their sensors begin to register intermittent readings, but dismiss them as residual echoes and ghost returns from the equipment. However, the illusion of tranquility shatters as an alien dagger, jagged and grotesque, impales the skull of an Imperial guardsman, silencing him with a sickening sound. The Cadians react with immediate and overwhelming firepower, unleashing a hailstorm of bullets as their defensive position comes under assault by a wave of Kroot warriors. The battle has begun. A crimson flare erupts into the sky, signaling an enemy attack on their position. Lieutenant Ray springs into action, swiftly moving towards the source of the gunfire. The Tau fire warriors have launched their offensive, bringing to bear a formidable array of weaponry. The ensuing battle is a fierce struggle, as Imperial guardsmen and Tau warriors clash in a brutal exchange. Bodies litter the muddy terrain, casualties mounting as the Cadians desperately resist the alien invasion. Captain Hawkins and Lieutenant Ray assume their roles as leaders, inspiring their men to acts of courage and valor. Ray commandeers a tank, unleashing a devastating barrage upon the alien horde, while Hawkins, with a thunderous battle cry, rallies his troops in the trenches to hold the line.
Men of Cadia, do your duty and kill these alien bastards.
Hawkins finds himself confronting 3 Tau battlesuits, their weapons trained upon him. Undeterred, he orders the commissar of his unit to hold firm, not to relinquish the regimental banner. As he issues this command, the commissar is struck by a devastating volley, utterly obliterated, save for the banner itself.
Come on, I'll show you how a soldier of the Imperium fights and dies,
Hawkins declares, retrieving the banner from the remains of his fallen commissar. Imperial Hellhounds, their inferno cannons spitting streams of searing fire, sweep across the battlefield, reducing advancing Tau to ash and slag. A maelstrom of destruction unfolds as the armored leviathans of the 71st Regiment crash into the Xenos scum, their tracks churning the earth as they unleash a torrent of firepower. Just then, Lieutenant Ray pulls up in his tank next to Hawkins with news.
Sir, I'm getting reports that there's some Tau armor punching through the Vestrorian left. Only a couple, but they could be trying to flank us. Take first squadron. They've got a Lehman Russ attached. Find the Tau and take them out. And do it quickly.
The captain commands. Lieutenant Ray and the 1st Squadron then advance into Vestorian territory, only to be ambushed by a stealth Tau squad concealed within the ruins of a dilapidated structure. The Tau unleash a barrage of fire, disabling the Cadian tanks with devastating precision. Explosions erupt, and the guardsmen scramble to escape their burning vehicles. As Lieutenant Ray impacts the ground, shaken by the force of a nearby blast, he gazes upon a horrifying sight. In the distance, a human traitor extends a hand in greeting to the alien enemy. So here we have the actual comic of Fire and Honor, and the first thing that sticks out is this striking cover art that immediately establishes the tone of this series, showcasing its fiery ferocity and grit. Now, I think it's arguably probably the most impactful cover out of the 4 issues within this series, one of only 2 that showcase the Imperial Guard on the covers, whereas the other 2 covers showcase the Tau, but it really captures the indomitable spirit and sheer willpower and fearlessness of the Imperial Guard. Now, while the interior artwork possesses a raw and interesting style, the inking and coloring occasionally appear somewhat muddy, obscuring the fine details and diminishing the impact of the artist's line work, especially early on in the comic, like here where we are first introduced to Governor Montague. Details can sometimes be obscured, and the overall aesthetic lacks the crispness that one might hope or expect. So whether this is a result of inconsistent inking or color choices, it remains unclear to me, but it unfortunately feels like it distracts from the overall visual experience. But I really like the interaction between Governor Montague and the Cadian soldier, though, as it really effectively highlights a big problem within military leadership and the disconnect between someone like maybe a politician and the actual men on the ground. It's a stark reminder of the gulf that often exists between those who make the decisions and those who carry the burden of those decisions. This panel of confrontation actually resonates deeply within my own military experience, where I've seen similar instances of out-of-touch leadership which often eroded morale. Now, though I mentioned before that the art does seem a bit muddied and ill-defined, I will say that the artist displays a commendable attention to detail in differentiating the individual guardsmen. Because in the sea of green uniforms, distinguishing features like Captain Hawkins' bionic eye, or Colonel Renko's battle-scarred visage, or Lieutenant Ray's graffitied armor that says "Hit me," it really becomes vital markers of identity. And these subtle touches add a layer of depth and personality to the otherwise uniform ranks and serve as crucial visual cues, making it easier for us to follow the narrative and identify key players. The scene here depicting Captain Hawkins interacting with his men is particularly well executed. His efforts to connect with his troops, build rapport, ensure their well-being, and foster a sense of camaraderie, I think really effectively convey his leadership qualities. These moments, filled with shared laughter and good-natured ribbing, they effectively humanize the guardsmen and evoke a genuine sense of respect and admiration for Captain Hawkins. This resonates with my own military experience in the Marine Corps, where such gestures are crucial for maintaining morale and unit cohesion. While the artwork had previously exhibited some inconsistencies, the introduction of the Tau marks a significant improvement. The sleek alien technology, from the imposing gunships to the menacing battlesuits, is rendered with impressive detail and accuracy. The color palette, with its striking juxtaposition of fiery red against the obsidian night sky, further enhances the scene's dramatic impact. And the action really picks up once the initial assault happens in the defensive bunker set up by the 71st. The scene is a great initiation of dynamic action that sets up the rest of the comic. The raw, unbridled aggression of the guardsmen, the searing trajectory of the lasgun fire, and the visceral impact of the rounds upon the alien target create a truly unforgettable image. And I think that the artist actually does a pretty good job here as he captures the sheer brutality of close quarters combat. Right after that, we have this panel of Lieutenant Ray leaping into action, which I think perfectly captures the chaos and urgency of the unfolding battle. And the artist conveys a great sense of motion here as well. The ensuing pandemonium on the next panel below within the control room really emphasizes and effectively underscores the gravity of the situation even more and highlights the imminent threat facing the Imperial Guard. Now, one of my favorite panels in this comic is the gritty depiction of the trenches, littered with the fallen, serving as a poignant reminder of the horrors of war. This image effectively underscores the immense sacrifice and the grim reality faced by the Imperial Guard in their defense of the Imperium within this universe. The fallen comrades littering the battlefield, the relentless barrage of lasgun fire, and the palpable sense of despair all contribute to a truly harrowing depiction of war's grim realities in the 41st millennium. Another one of my favorite panels is of Lieutenant Ray amidst the chaos of the battlefield, as he's like standing defiant in his tank and reflecting the intensity of the moment, spewing forth a torrent of fire. The enemy's onslaught may rage around him, but his courage remains unbroken in this panel. And his scream is just a testament to his unwavering spirit as he says, "You're gonna have to try harder than that to kill Taybird Ray." Absolutely love it. And you know, this is a portrait of a warrior who just refuses to yield, a symbol of resilience and courage in the face of overwhelming odds. And isn't that such a large theme within the Warhammer universe? And finally, the battlefield shot. Writhing under a smoky and fiery sky, a canvas of just absolute chaos, painted in hues of blood and ash. You can almost like hear this image of the twisted metal just churning and groaning, and seeing these tanks of once gleaming surfaces but now scarred and blackened from war, and these flames that dance almost like ghostly spirits in a way, just licking at the wreckage and consuming everything in their path. It's absolutely great. And the figures as well, you know, these both, you know, Imperial Guard and Tau just strewn across the landscape like just discarded toys, really. You can feel the air, it just feels palpable. It's thick with this stench of just smoke, blood, and metallic tang of burning oil. It is such a great splash page to end on right here. So what did y'all think of the first issue of Fire and Honor? Have y'all read this series before? And if not, would you like me to do videos of the other 3 issues within this mini-series? Let me know in the comments section of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.